considering she had been the mother of the woman getting married today. Ava McNamara, I admitted. Odd little number. Her twin, too. How is she a problem? I can't stop thinking about her. That's not like you, Gunnar muttered. You should have seen the bikini she had on that day on Fire Island. I'd spent a total of 20 minutes with her, so for her to be on my mind at all was unusual. But the fantasies, shit. There were times they seemed so real I could swear I knew exactly how her nipples would harden under my touch, and how her wetness would coat my fingers when I sneaked them in her bikini bottom. I could even remember how she'd smelled that day. At first it was of sand and sun and margaritas, but the longer we'd talked, the more the sweet scent of her arousal eclipsed everything else. That wasn't something I had to imagine. That was a bona fide memory. When Gunnar pulled into the parking lot of San Isidro Ranch, just outside of Santa Barbara, I saw Penelope, another bridesmaid, walking along the pathway between two cottages. If Ava was wearing the same dress Penelope was, the fantasies I'd been having would soon get a hell of a lot hotter. The small amount of pale green fabric she wore was shorter than most bridesmaid dresses I'd ever seen, with a halter top that left little to the imagination. Ava and her sister Anya were far more endowed than this girl. I couldn't even imagine how good the dress would look on them. Gunnar laughed, checking out Penelope like I had. You're in for it. I knew it. But then there was always a chance that reality Ava wouldn't be half as luscious as I remembered her being. Plus, I knew her type. She was a spoiled little rich girl, looking for someone to take care of her the way Daddy did. I'd known plenty of girls like her. They didn't think much of me until they found out I was a partner in a successful security and intelligence business. Then there was the other type. They'd take one look at the body I worked so hard to keep strong and fit, decide I didn't have much of a brain, and treat me like a boy toy. I didn't complain, though. It worked to my advantage when they were looking for someone to rock the shit out of their world, but didn't expect me to call the next day. Maybe that's how it would go with Ava later. Wasn't bridesmaid groomsman sex a thing? After the wedding, she'd invite me into one of these cottages I guessed went for at least $1,000 a night, and I'd pound her sweet body out of my system. You ready? Asked Gunnar. No, I grumbled, feeling more like I should take my second cold shower of the morning. Ava McNamara was close. Soon she'd be close enough to touch, and I had no control over my body's reaction to knowing that. If I didn't get myself into her tight little body tonight, I'd be able to pound nails with the raging hard-on I got every time her image crept into my brain.
2. Ava. I looked in the mirror for what felt like the 1,000th time and touched up my lipstick, feeling more nervous than the bride appeared. Quinn and Mercer, the groom, were one of those couples who everyone knew were meant to be. I'd known it from the first time Quinn introduced me to him and the rest of our group of friends. There was no question, even then, that Mercer loved her. I could see it in the way he touched her and smiled at her. I'd been jealous at the time, particularly since I found out only days before that my ex and first love was getting married. Dash and I had been broken up for over 2 years, but at the time, I would have rather been the one announcing I was engaged. I groaned and rolled my shoulders. I shouldn't be thinking about Dashiell Finnegan today or any other day. Not only had I discovered he was a scumbag criminal the last time I'd seen him, he threatened to kill me if I told anyone what I discovered about him. Within a few days of me catching him passing information to someone in exchange for cash, he'd been arrested. I heard someone had called in an anonymous tip. Dash probably thought it was me, but it wasn't. It wasn't long after that I'd been contacted and subsequently questioned as a potential witness. I still didn't know how they'd gotten my name, but they had, and...